Right guys, so in the beginning of this video you saw me play through the chord progression for the Amy Winehouse version of Valerie. Now I'm not going to be able to cover all of the lead guitar and all the intricacies of that part. However, I do want to take the first two chords from Valerie and I do want to build on the content from last lesson where we were looking at that 16th note strumming pattern. And we can take the first two chords of that version of Valerie, which would be E flat major 7 and F minor 7, which are actually two bar chords that are 2 frets apart, which is a really useful small chord progression to practice our new 16th note strumming pattern, as we can play something like this. So you can hear that I'm free to sort of improvise what I'm doing in my fretting hand. For example, I'm free to improvise when I'm pressing the chord down and letting the chord ring out. But the down, up, down, up, down, up strumming pattern, the 16th note strumming, stays consistent in my strumming hand. And you can see I'm kind of moving my wrist more than I'm moving my full arm. I'm just keeping it nice and fluent, nice and consistent, so I can focus on what's going on in my fretting hand. So we covered the 16th note strumming pattern last lesson, where we divided each beat of the bar into 4 and we played down up for each beat of the bar. And with a muted string, it sounds something like this. However, now we're trying to add a chord progression. It's a very small chord progression built from just 2 chords at the moment. Again, E flat major 7 and F minor 7. And I'll break those chords down for you in just a moment. But when we add chords to our 16th note strumming pattern, it of course does make it more challenging. So if you're not quite as familiar or quite as confident with bar chords, you might just need to give this a little bit of time, focus on the fluency of your chords and then the fluency of your strumming pattern, and then try and combine the two. However, if you're quite confident with bar chords, you might find that this comes quite naturally. So for E flat major 7, we're going to bar at the 6th fret. We're going to bar the A string all the way down to the thin E string. But what I'm also going to do is mute the thick E string with the tip of my index finger, because I don't want that string ringing for an E flat major 7 chord. I need to mute that string. And of course I'm going to try my best not to catch it whilst I'm strumming, but it's best as well if we mute it with our fretting hand. So we bar at the 6th fret, the A string all the way down to the thin E. I'm going to place my ring finger on the 8th fret of the D. My middle finger goes 7th fret of the G. And then my little finger goes 8th fret of the B. That gives me quite a common E flat major 7 chord voicing. Let's try and put that 16th note strumming pattern to our new E flat major chord. And can you hear what I'm doing there? Sometimes I'm pressing the chord down to allow the chord to ring or sound, but then for the majority of the time, I'm actually muting the strings. I'm keeping my hand in the E flat major 7 chord position, but I'm just releasing the strings enough to give me that muted percussive sound that we worked on last lesson. So you can improvise whenever you want that chord to sound. And the more you do this, the more confident you'll become, and you can come up with some really interesting strumming patterns. However, for now, I just want us to press the chord down on the first down strum. So that would be on every beat of the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how we're going to play the chord, the first part of the chord progression of Valerie in this lesson, playing the chord on each beat of the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can hear there I played 2 bars of E flat major 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide up 2 frets. I'm just going to change the chord around a little bit to make an F minor 7 chord. So again, we're barring from the A string all the way down to the thin E, and we're going to mute the thick E string with the tip of our index finger. But we're going to bar at the 8th fret this time, so we're barring at the 8th. Then I'm going to place my ring finger on the 10th fret of the D. I'm going to leave the G to be fretted by the index finger. Then I'm going to place my middle finger on the 9th fret of the B. Now, if I play an F minor 7 chord, sounding the chord on the first downstroke, which would be every beat of the bar, and then just having all of the other strums for more of a percussive effect, whilst muting the strings with this hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So starting on an E flat major 7 chord. Then sliding up to an F minor 7 chord. Now, of course, if you're finding this difficult, the easiest way to make something simpler and easier in music is just to slow it down. So if we slow the tempo down and play it at a much slower pace, we should be able to get the strumming pattern and the chord progression together more easily. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a nice task to get used to 16th note strumming, the down up rhythm, using the first 2 chords from Valerie.